This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Now at 11, slick roads caused some problems on the interstates across central Indiana tonight after steady snowfall throughout the day. Good evening at 11. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starrentino. Some schools are anticipating a slick morning drive. You can see delays scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now.
And counties across the state are under a travel advisory, including several in central Indiana. They're highlighted in yellow on this map. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory joining us now with a Storm Team 6 alert. Kevin.
And we've had 14 hours now with light snow and with the strong winds tonight. This is one of the buildings just behind RTV6, and you can see what the strong wind is doing, blowing around the snow. Especially in rural areas, you'll get the road covered by snow blowing from open areas as it's been gusting over 30 miles per hour. The overall coverage of snow showers is diminishing. The temperature will drop to about 20, and with that strong wind, single-digit wind chills in the morning. You can see some of these ribbons of snow now. Instead of widespread, you can just kind of pick these streaks of snow that will continue to diminish. The wind will not. And you factor that in, it feels like 15 in Indy now, 14 in Lafayette. You'll wake up to this in the morning. Dry conditions, but slick conditions for any untreated surface, still windy and 22 degrees.
Tomorrow, the Indiana Department of Health will give an update on how the state is preparing for a possible outbreak of the coronavirus.
Right now, there are no reported cases of the disease in Indiana, and no Hoosiers are under investigation.
And tonight, President Trump announced a native Hoosier will lead this nationwide fight against the virus.
I'm going to be putting our Vice President, Mike Pence, in charge. And Mike will be working with the professionals, doctors, and everybody else that's working. The team is brilliant. I spent a lot of time with the team over the last couple of weeks, but they're totally brilliant, and we're doing really well. And Mike is going to be in charge, and Mike will report back to me.
And the people of this country can be confident that under your leadership, we will continue to bring the full resources of the federal government in coordination with our state and local partners to see to the health and well-being and to the effective response to the coronavirus here in the United States of America.
Mike's been very good, very adept. Anybody that knows anything about healthcare, they look at the Indiana model, and it's been a very great success.
The president's decision to put Vice President Mike Pence in charge of overseeing the response to the virus is already facing some criticism. That is because of how Pence responded to an HIV outbreak in southern Indiana when he was governor. And the Centers for Disease Control called the 2015 outbreak in Scott County one of the worst ever. Then Governor Pence eventually declared a public health emergency and approved additional resources to the issue. According to a study by Yale researchers, many cases could have been avoided if leaders had taken action sooner. In 2016, the director of public policy at the Foundation for AIDS Research and Advocacy and Research Group called the outbreak entirely preventable. But he also said, quote, "We must give Governor Pence credit for finally doing the right thing in the end." And also new tonight, the Centers for Disease Control has confirmed a new case of coronavirus in California. This case is significant because the person has not recently traveled to a country that has seen an outbreak of the virus and has not had any contact with someone who is known to have the virus. All of the 60 other cases in the U.S. involve people who have traveled abroad or had been in close contact with those who traveled.
New information tonight about the mass shooting at the Molson Coors Brewery in Milwaukee. Police say the shooter killed 5 employees before killing himself. ABC's Trevor Alt reports the suspect is identified as a man who also worked at the complex.
Tonight, multiple people are dead at a Milwaukee brewing plant. Law enforcement sources telling ABC News a disgruntled employee showed up at the Miller Coors facility with a gun.
There were 5 individuals who went to work today, and they thought they were going to go to work, finish their day, and return to their families. They didn't, and tragically, they never will.
The shots fired just after 2 p.m. Hundreds of employees ordered to shelter in place as officers rushed to respond.
See, there's a handful of officers now with their rifles. They just came out of this stairwell here and a rooftop door, and they're going into another one.
Neighboring schools then going on lockdown, parents hurrying to their children.
I was afraid for my dear life with my baby. Came over here as quick as I could, seeing if I can get him out of here.
Sources tell ABC News at least 8 people were shot and the shooter died at the scene. The lieutenant governor of Wisconsin calling it a preventable tragedy.
This is something that we should never come to accept as a society.
The FBI and ATF are now both on hand, assisting as investigators work through such a large crime scene. President Trump sending his condolences.
Our hearts break for them and their loved ones. We send our condolences. We'll be with them. And it's a terrible thing.
Trevor Ault, ABC News, New York.
New at 11, we are getting a look at more feathery victims of a fuel spill on the east side of Indianapolis. Indianapolis Animal Care Services posted several pictures on Facebook of ducks covered in fuel. They were found in a nearby creek after last week's tanker crash and explosion on the I-465 ramp to I-70. The tanker was carrying 4,000 gallons of jet fuel. IACS says it has been able to find wildlife rehabbers to care for the ducks. Sadly, at least one duck impacted by the spill has died. The Avian and Exotic Animal Clinic of Indianapolis says it rescued a group of ducks covered in fuel near the site of the crash. The clinic says one did not make it, but the others are being rehabilitated.
New at 11, RTV6 can finally show you how a well-kept secret is paying off on the east side of Indianapolis. A new episode of Returning the Favor on Facebook Watch debuted this week, highlighting a local farmer working to tackle food insecurity. RTV6's Cameron Riddle takes you to the Healthy Harvest Market, where Hoosiers are working to improve their community thanks to a big surprise.
When RTV6 first introduced you to this newly opened store on the east side in December, we had no idea that there was more being cooked up besides the fresh pie and fresh produce. There was also celebrity Mike Rowe and a TV show.
I was blown away, got chills, because, you know, usually this type of work we do on the grassroots level never get that much coverage.
Hey, what's happening?
How are you? That national coverage is shining a bright light on the work being done to fill a void in Indianapolis's east side food deserts. Community leader Dee Ross and Greenfield farmer Jonathan Lawler have been quietly working together to open a local grocery store at the corner of 10th and Rule. Their efforts were fast-tracked when the Facebook show Returning the Favor, hosted by Mike Rowe, came to Indianapolis, renovated, and then fully stocked the store in 3 days. While Ross was in on the surprise, his business partner Lawler never saw it coming.
There's some friends of mine on a Facebook show. It's called Returning the Favor. We love what you're doing. I'm such a fan of everything that we've talked about today, and the vision for this place is something we wanted to help be a part of.
What they did for us was just, I cannot express enough gratitude.
The show was filmed in November, and until this week, Ross and Lawler had to keep the surprise a secret.
I couldn't really say much other than, hey, Mike Rowe was at my farm and I drove him around Indianapolis. And, I mean, I would have reporters ask, so what? Yeah, no, I'm not saying anything.
With the cat now out of the bag, Lawler, who gives much of his crop away for free, is ready to move the spotlight off of himself and shine it on the issue of helping others.
What I tell people is when you choose to make the sacrifice, it was important, I think, for Returning the Favor folks to tell that story, but that's not something we tell people. I'm a farmer. If society fails tomorrow, I'm going to be okay. But my job is to take care of the people that won't be.
Working for you in Indianapolis, Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
Well, Returning the Favor has been sharing episodes on Facebook Watch since 2017. You can find a link to the Healthy Harvest Market episode on our website, theindychannel.com.
A bill that could save homes along the White River is one step closer to becoming law. We first told you about this situation on Monday after homeowners reached out to RTV6 for help. The Department of Natural Resources has determined some homes must be torn down because they're in a floodway. Today, lawmakers heard changes to Senate Bill 433. It would save the homes, but homeowners would have to raise their cabins. Lyra Bates shared her story with RTV6 on Monday. She is fighting to save her mother's cabin in Martin County. Today, she attended the State House hearing on this issue.
I really hope that we are able to save her home and the other homeowners that are here with us today, and that even those who weren't able to come today, I think everyone is encouraged and hopeful.
The bill now heads to the House for a vote that could happen as soon as tomorrow. And ordinances that could help protect tenants in Indianapolis are now in effect, but that help may only last a few months. We told you about the proposals Monday after the City County Council passed them. They would devote $250,000 to legal aid for renters, make sure landlords disclose tenants' rights, and create rules against retaliation by landlords. But a bill making its way through the State House will put a stop to those last two requirements.
As leaders in local government, we have a moral duty to ensure that Marion County citizens not only have the requisite information about their legal rights, but the tools and the freedom to exercise those rights without the fear of retaliation or legal penalty.
If the State House bill becomes law, it would take effect on July 1st. Recent studies have shown that Indianapolis is second in the country in evictions, behind New York. Calling all night owls, the Department of Transportation is holding a hiring event tomorrow specifically for its new second shift.
And a local doctor is sounding the alarm about a growing trend. A dangerous effect of excessive drinking is impacting more young people. Why he says it could happen to you.
Silverado 1500 pickups.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
New at 11, an IU Health doctor wants to challenge what you think you know about liver disease.
He says more people under the age of 40 are being treated for severe liver failure due to alcohol abuse.
RTV6's Cornelius Hawker shares this story with the details that can help you take control of your health.
Typically, the advanced alcoholic liver disease over the years has been seen in people who are 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Dr. Naga Chalasani is one of the top experts in the country when it comes to liver disease due to excessive alcohol drinking.
Over the course of the last 15 years or so, we are seeing more and more under the age of 40, even between 25 to 35 age group as well.
He says that's because of binge drinking, and it's why he's sharing this warning.
You don't have to drink for 25, 30 years to get into advanced liver disease.
He's really hoping this message gets out to young people.
When I was 21, I didn't go out very often. I really started drinking like last year. So I guess I have started drinking more, but it still isn't a lot compared to, I think, my peers.
College senior Jada Bell tells me she understands why people her age turn to alcohol.
I think a lot of us drink like after work. So I think just dealing with life, the pressures of life in general.
But Jada says hearing the news that people right around her age are developing a disease that used to be seen more so in older folks will make her think differently about how much she drinks. That's what Dr. Chalasani wants, more awareness, so people know the damage alcohol can do to their body, even if they don't plan to stop drinking.
If they don't want to stop alcohol, I would recommend to them to minimize as much as they can.
Despite the alarming trend Dr. Chalasani has seen, there is a silver lining to all of this.
If you stop in a timely fashion, this is one liver disease that will actually improve. Even in those with very advanced liver failure, if they stop drinking, that is really the best medicine.
Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, RTV6.
Information about alcohol-related liver disease from IU Health and resources on how to quit drinking can be found in this story on our app.
More police will be on the roads beginning Sunday looking for drunk drivers. The increased patrols will be part of a month-long Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign. Law enforcement agencies say St. Patrick's Day and the NCAA tournament are two of the heaviest drinking events of the year. Officers will also be conducting sobriety checkpoints.
You can hear him on the radio from coast to coast. Tonight, the host of the Ricky Smiley Morning Show made his voice heard in downtown Indianapolis. Ricky Smiley served as tonight's guest in the Stewart Speaker Series. Stewart Speakers connects the community with national leaders. On his show, Smiley is open about his personal successes and setbacks. Before tonight's event at the Madam Walker Legacy Center, he shared this advice for anyone who wants to follow their dreams.
Learning how to open your mouth, have confidence, speak up, mix with a little bit of etiquette, whatever, you can work your way, to anywhere you want to go. You just have to believe in yourself. And you have to make good decisions.
RTV6 is a proud partner of the Stewart Speaker Series, and I was proud to serve as MC for tonight's event.
Habitat for Humanity is kicking off its 2020 Women Build project in the Indianapolis area. Tonight, the organization held an event downtown to raise awareness about this year's program. This year, a group of all-women volunteers will construct 2 homes in 12 weeks. They will be built side by side on the near north side of the city. The soon-to-be homeowners attended the event.
It's even better because the women are building. I couldn't be more happier. I was like, yes, women. We're going to tell you how to do it.
The organization hopes to raise $200,000 in contributions this year.
Time for your Storm Team 6 forecast, and we're watching some of that growing list of school delays for tomorrow. They're concerned about slick roads out there.
I think slick already, in some spots. So it will grow in the morning. I don't think we'll aggravate the situation a whole lot. We're not expecting additional accumulating snow, but 53 different schools will have a 2-hour delay in the morning. The list surely will be longer at 4:30 a.m. on Good Morning Indiana. If you follow these, we just have these strips of snow now, a lot more limited in coverage. Just south of Shelbyville and Greensburg is one little band of snow. Overall, this will diminish to just flurries through the overnight hours. Then it becomes about the temperature and the wind. 27, that's our current temperature now. Anything that's untreated, the roads have been wet all day. They'll start to freeze, especially the bridges and the overpasses. That's where you can't be caught off guard. Temperatures will drop another 7 degrees or so. These are the wind chill temperatures, or what it will feel like first thing in the morning. And notice a large area of single-digit wind chill temperatures first thing in the morning. Tomorrow, quite cold. Friday, quite cold. And then we begin climbing out of that hole as temperatures are below average, and then we go well above average. That begins Sunday and leads into early next week. I'll have more details on that in a second. There's your wind tomorrow, west 20 miles per hour to 30 at times. We've had a 33 mile per hour gust this evening. That is a cold wind as well, and we'll play tug of war between clouds and sunshine. By the time we get to noon, 31 degrees. Afternoon temperatures, again, struggle just to climb into the low to mid 30s at best. Some spots to the south where you didn't have the snow cover today, generally in the middle 30s, Columbus, 32 in Indy. Friday, clouds dominate. Temperatures again struggle in the lower 30s, but the colder it feels the next couple of days, the better it will feel early next week. As you look at your Friday temperatures from north to south, a range of about 28 to 34 degrees. As we go into the weekend, noticeable changes. It's a big step from Saturday to Sunday. Both days dry. Temperatures warm from 18 on Saturday, or 19 on Saturday morning, up to 47 by the time we get to the high temperature on Sunday. And this will grab your attention. At least 3 days in a row where temperatures reach the 50s. Now, temperatures come up, but our rain chance will also climb through early next week. Those temperatures are well above the average high of 46. A slick start tomorrow morning. Temperature 32 in the afternoon. We're dry Friday and 31 degrees. Last day in the 30s, at least in this 7-day forecast, comes Saturday. Then temperatures warm into the 50s for several days in a row.
Did you hear how he spun it?
Yes.
The colder it is now, the better it'll feel next week.
I'm always working for a positive spin.
And on a positive note, Dave?
Hi, guys. The lights left on at the Purdue Baseball Stadium tonight, remembering longtime coach Dave Alexander. There some 14 years, was Chittard before that. Tough day today, though. Dave Alexander was 79. Good evening. The games go on. Big one in West Lafayette tomorrow night. Another round of IU and Purdue. And after the Boilers won by 12 2.5 weeks ago, who would have thought things would go in the other direction for both teams?
When you watch that last Indiana-Purdue game, well, everybody would have picked Purdue. You know, just look how they play, look how they execute, look how they did things. But that woke Indiana up. And Indiana's played way better than us since then.
I think our guys have a good mindset right now. I think they understand that, we're not asking a lot of them other than, like I said at the beginning, great attitude, great work ethic, and, tremendous effort level when we're asking them to give it.
And we'll be there tomorrow night. Tourney time, meanwhile, NAIA. Marion hosting Bethel. Opening round of the Crossroads League tourney. Marion and Grants. Fisher's Cameron Walter with the post up. You got a game high 32. Indy's Nick Rogers with the 3-ball. He had 13. Carmel's Luke Henny with the 3-ball. On the other side, the Knights had a 3-point lead with just 6 minutes left. But Bethel answers on a decisive 18-3 run. and they win in advance 85-77. Marion now 24-7. They'll find out their NAIA tourney draw March 4th. Final week of the regular season in boys high school hoop. Sectionals start next Tuesday. Some more tune-ups before the postseason, including Beech Grove, the Crossroads Conference champs, hosting Hal, BG and White. Edward Taylor digs in, comes up with the steal. Josh Copenhaver the other way with the finish. BG extending the lead to 16 into the third right here. Taylor, Johnny on the spot. Hornets win it 60-51. They're now 14-6. They're at Whiteland to wrap up the regular season Friday night. Hey, finally tonight, first and foremost, are on the Pacers. Still trying to figure out the angles on this one. Malcolm Brogdon with a shot. Watch it pinball around the top of the goal. It doesn't count before it's actually over the glass, but I mean, I count the bounce. I counted 10 before it finally even bounced off the rim. How much is that worth? Nada. Does not count. Pacers, by the way, host the Blazers tomorrow night. Reggie Miller on the call for TNT. So Uncle Reg back in the house tomorrow night.
None of that counted.
That'd be fun. No, right?
You could almost hear the
degree of difficulty. It should be like a 4-point shot or something. No.
All right.
How'd that go again?
You win some, you lose. Like the
sound effects. Always on point.
How a small bakery is making a big difference in the lives of people who need a little help breaking into the workforce.
At Dream Mattress Studio at Value City Furniture.
The Indiana Department of Transportation is hiring Hoosiers to work the night shift. You can learn more about available positions at a hiring fair tomorrow. It goes from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the INDOT location on South Brookville Road. Last year, the city passed a budget increase for the department, paving the way for a second shift of employees.
Tomorrow evening, there will be a community conversation to discuss the importance of attracting and retaining teachers of color. The event starts at 5:30 in the WFYI TV community room on North Meridian Street. Earlier this month, Hiring Hoosiers told you there's a major shortage of black male teachers. Right now, there are 95 black men teaching in Indianapolis public schools, roughly 5% of the district's teaching staff. Statewide, a 2017 survey found 93% of Indiana's teachers were white. Marion University and the United Negro College Fund are working together to help change that.
A Central Indiana business that combines a love of baking and a love of pets is helping people with special needs develop valuable skills. Buttermilk Mountain invites adults with disabilities to volunteer as bakers. They make dog treats that are sold at local farmers markets. After retiring as a financial planner, Jody Maslanka started this program as a hobby 1 year ago. It has since turned into her passion.
We don't always see the person that's in there, you know, which is why I like doing this, because it brings something out in them that you probably wouldn't have seen. And I think the community, I think everybody should look at people with disabilities and try to see the ability. The ability.
One day we were at a farmer's market. I am normally the advertiser to sell them.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you're pretty good at selling them, right?
I am. I even sold it to a cat person.
Maslanka hopes to eventually make enough money to be able to hire some of the volunteers. For more info on Buttermilk Mountain, go to hiringhoosiers.com. We'll be right back.
Snow showers diminished to flurries overnight. Temperatures continue to fall. As we mentioned, there are already over 52-hour delays, so check those out. If you get to sleep in, you get to sleep in. Cold all day, except for in West Lafayette, where there's a big game tomorrow night.
It'll be nice and warm inside Mackey Arena.
Yeah.
Inside.
And loud. Loud and warm.
Thank you for joining us.
It'll be fun tomorrow night.